And we're off! Welcome to the 41st episode of the Brave News channel. I am your host, Shali, and we're here with the amazing Risky. Say hello, Risky.
Hello.
All right, and in 2019, we still have a lot of fun stuff to share with you guys. Today, we're going to be discussing the updates coming for February, so let's get right into it. And Risky, could you please start us off with some new and exciting information?
All right, so as we mentioned in last episode, we do have a Raid Battle Class 7 coming. And right now we have a few more information about what is coming in February. We have a Fire and Water Raid Battle Class 7 coming. And our team is really working hard on it to make it happen. Although the schedule is still tentative, but this is what we are going to aim, that both of them are available in February. So the first thing is that the season summary will be one element specific raid. It will happen every 2 weeks. Back to back, and each of the raid is element locked to opposite elements. For example, if you are going to RC Fire, you will be locked to Water Element Squad. You can only use Water Element Squad, and if you are going to the Water, RC7 Water, you will be locked to Thunder Element Squad. And then we will have the battle summary for each of the raid itself will be that each of the raid will have 2 different missions, and each 2 paths are available for each mission. And player can choose to fight the boss on the main path that will end the raid mission itself, or they can choose to go to the alternative path to fight the optional bosses within the time limit, as many as they want, and collect more tokens and materials. So as the other raid as well, tokens and materials can be harvested from the harvest point.
Right, okay. Well, it sounds very interesting already, being locked down to mono teams and also having to, choose whether you want to go that extra mile and defeat some other bosses along the way. I would definitely recommend it because more rewards is always better in my book.
Right, and this raid Battle Class 7 is actually meant to be played together with your guildmates because the difficulty level will be much harder than what we have in the 6th. So do bring your guildmates. The maximum of 4 of them, 4 of you guys can fight the boss, and the more the merrier. Right? It's easier for you to actually farm those materials and tokens. Right. So we do have the battle rewards for this event. That is mainly the first thing will be the new materials from the boss's drop that can be used to upgrade raid spheres. So there will be one unique sphere for each element. And this new materials is exclusively on the Raid Battle Class 7 only. So it will be an upgrade for the older raid spheres. And there will be also like one sphere that can be the long-term objective for encompassing across the different elemental raid as well.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And there will be RC7 tokens that you can get by completing missions and defeating bosses as well. The RC7 tokens will look like the icon on the bottom right. It looks like a crystal, a grayish crystal there. And RC7 tokens can be exchangeable for various enhancement and Omni Plus materials. And the new thing here is that you can also exchange it for the guild token and guild relic. So while we might have alternate of casual and competitive guild raid, you can also have more a chance to get this guild token and guild relic from the raid RC7 as well. Okay,
excellent. So there's all sorts of reasons why you should be playing RC7. If you are not, past raid class 6 by this point, I definitely recommend that you do so that you can get up to 7 and play with your guildmates or your friends. I mean, it's bound to be fun. I think it's going to be much more challenging than the previous raids we've had before. So very exciting.
And then basically prepare your squad, finish all the RC1 to RC6, and there will be a promotion promotion mission from RC6 to allow you to go to the RC7.
Oh, okay, so, cool.
Yeah, prepare your squad.
Excellent.
Okay, so talking about RC7, there will be some new addition to the unit itself. Can you introduce her, Shali?
Of course. You guys might have seen her around if you have played Guild before, but we have the wonderful Giselle from Orebus coming to the world of Brave Frontier as a unit. And I want to call it a mock unit because we've had so many main characters in Brave Frontier come out as actual playable units. But they were always under trials. You always had to beat a trial in order to be able to get them. If I'm not mistaken here, Giselle's actually going to be at the Summon Gate. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so Giselle here is branded as a raid summon unit, so I'm sure that she's going to be very, very handy when you go into those raids for RC7. Not to mention that she looks amazing. I love
Yep.
the attention to detail, from the sprite that we're all used to seeing in the game being transferred into this, the unit art form of her. I think it looks absolutely beautiful. The art team did an amazing job.
I do agree.
Yeah, I don't think it quite catches how weird she is, because she's special.
I mean, that smile, you can't see the smile.
Yeah. I mean,
anyway.
yeah, I think here she just looks like a total badass and she's ready to take on some enemies. But her more quirky, lolsy side doesn't really show, but it's still in there somewhere. So show your love for Giselle if you're a big fan, especially, but even more so if you want to take advantage of everything in RC7 raid. I think you should be pulling for this unit because the design alone is amazing. It's really, really good. Really enjoy her. All right. Anything else we have in store, Rizky?
No, I think that's all for the RC7 information. So
Okay.
stay tuned for the update from our team. There'll be Dev Diary explaining more details about the RC7 coming after BNC. So do stick around and to our official channel for more information. Yeah.
All right, sounds good.
So moving on, we have the new Valentine dungeons called Glitch in the Heart. So I think this time around we have a very interesting premise, I would say. The very first Valentine unit was at the time was Fei and Fang, very Asian, East Asian style of couple, and then we had the Victorian style couples, which is Randolph and Ravina.
Right.
And now we have how should I say this? Futuristic or not steampunk?
Modern couple.
A modern couple.
Futuristic couple. Yeah, futuristic I
couple.
think is a little bit more,
Yeah. So
correct, I guess.
So we will be having a very special Valentine's dungeon where you can follow Galene, a sentient battle android, and in her daring escape from the corporation's decommissioning facility. Sounds like a very interesting story.
Yeah, we got a name for the facility and everything. It's pretty interesting.
And we can also assist Vektor, which is the guy over there, Galene's mechanic and idiosyncratic techie, as he slices through the corporation's security widgets to rescue her.
Okay.
And we have the hard mode, the very interesting hard mode missions that will give players a bonus 3 gems. And you can also farm for Valentine tokens to purchase up to 3 copies of Vektor. And of course, as usual, we always have the unique spheres coming on the every seasonal event, and we have spheres that are having a very interesting looking.
Yeah. I love the designs of the newer spheres, and I love especially the ones that combine with each other because it's so easy to see the progression. And before, in the good old days, the sphere icons were always just like a little circle with a little drawing inside, just painted in some color. But now it's like they have shapes and they're very representative of the story behind the event. So I really, really enjoy them. They're really cute.
Yep, it's really nice design and very interesting. All right, so so in the summary earlier, we have a few characters mentioned. Maybe Shelly, you can explain about them.
Yeah, so the protagonists of Glitch in the Heart here are going to be 2 people, obviously because it's a couple and it's Valentine's Day. And we're going to start off with Vektor, which I have to say, this has husbando written all over him. When I saw this design, I was very excited. It's a very modern take on a unit. He's got the man bun, he's got the eyebrow piercing, he's got a tattoo. So, total dreamboat for, today's standards, I would say. And not only that, but he's very skilled. He's a mechanic, he's smart as well. So he's got the brains and he's got the looks. So I'm totally here for him. The only thing that might be a little bit, I don't know about him, is that he has a very flighty attitude. So he's very easily agitated, or he lives like a YOLO kind of lifestyle where he's just like, I'm just gonna do whatever I need to do, and he's not very good at expressing his feelings honestly. So even though he does have some feelings for Galene, who we will discuss in a second, he doesn't really. He's not very honest with himself or with her about it. He goes in a very roundabout way to like express them. But you know, when she gets taken away by the facility, then he goes to rescue her. So that has to mean something, right? He goes out of his way to go and rescue her from this danger. Although I don't know that she needs rescuing because she looks pretty badass to me. But you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's his way of showing that he cares, I guess. And so I'm very excited to see Vektor in action. I love his design, absolutely adore it.
Me too.
But the true star of the story over here, we're going to Miss Galene here, and she's an android. And she's a very particular android in the fact that her AI was so advanced that she started developing feelings, like human emotions. And so her and the other androids that were her, you know, type, the same type of android, were kind of like decommissioned. Them, they were set away, they were put away to be destroyed, which is why Vektor is on his way to the facility to go and rescue her. And, you know, she appreciates it. She's like, oh, well, thanks. Again, looking at her design alone, I think that she doesn't need any rescuing. I think she can do it all by herself. But she does have feelings for Vektor because she can understand that he's doing this out of a place of, you know, love and care. But she doesn't necessarily understand what those feelings are because she's still an android and is still just kind of like AI developing into human emotions. So it's a very interesting story. You know, can robots have feelings eventually, or can you actually love a robot? And what are the consequences of that kind of romance? Well, we might just find out with this story. I think it's a very, very interesting setup. Again, very futuristic, and I really, really do love the design of both units that are coming.
I can see the team is putting a lot of reference to, you know, recent, you know, like trending things. Yeah, trends.
Recent trends in the world.
Maybe okay. Maybe I can already like get at least two reference of the popular culture here. So maybe if players can point it out, can write it in the comment below.
This is if you fell in love with Siri, and and she was an android. I mean, it's basically you know the plot of quite a bit of movies, and you know some people do I think live this reality already because they haven't really found a person that they can relate to on this level in like real life, and so they turn to like games or like you know other type of things that exist in kind of like a different realm, like a technical realm, and they feel much better understood by the person that they care for in that realm. So I don't know that we're very far off from this becoming like normal, right? So maybe Brave Frontier is just kind of like stepping a little bit ahead in the times to come and being like, hey, FYI, this might be a thing in the future, so don't be too surprised if it actually happens. So yeah, very, very interesting take on romance. But you know, it's Valentine, so love conquers all. Love is wonderful and all that. Really excited to see them in action.
All right.
Shall we move on to our next piece of news here, Rizky?
Yes, so for this month, we also will be having the Frontier Rift Guild event rerun, Heaven Sent. So it is the one featuring the Kiel Lazar as a reward unit. So you're going to prepare your squads against fire, light, and dark enemies to face off the rock servant and rock titan. So as usual for the rerun event, you can join the guild again, and then you can contribute to your total guild score. You can gain those memento token, and then if you have not acquired a Kiel Lazar yet, you can exchange for it. If you have acquired Kiel Lazar, you can always exchange with other materials, Omni Plus materials, or Rift tokens, and other things. So so this is a good chance for you. You haven't gotten the Kiel Lazar's ES sphere as well. So try to work together with your guild to actually clear this particular guild event, the Heaven Sent. All right. So other than that, we have the upcoming Vortex Arena. Do you want to share some information about it, Charlie?
Sure. By the way, the Kilazar Frontier Rift is like probably the only one that I've ever beaten.
Okay.
But then, true story, I forgot to claim my rewards from the Frontier Rift like screen, and I kind of missed out on the claim rewards period. And I hadn't noticed until like my guildmates, shout out to Ponzer's guild, they were like, Charlie, why don't you use your Kilazar for this other rift? And I was like, oh yeah, I have him, let me find him. And I'm like scrolling through my unit inventory, he's nowhere to be found. I had to send a message to customer support and have them help me out because apparently I had not claimed my rewards for several rifts. Yeah.
Okay.
Reminder to claim your rewards on the Frontier Rift screen, and then then they will be sent to you to your gift box, and you can claim them from there. So it's a two-step process. So don't be like me. Rewards are important. Don't miss out on them. Make sure that you keep your eyes peeled for the claim reward period.
Definitely.
Anyway, moving on. We do have a new Vortex Arena coming up. We just finished with the Thunder one, so now we're going into the Light realm. We have the Luminous Showdown coming up. You're gonna get exclusive L gifts according to the rankings that you achieve. So from rank 1 to 1,500, you get the Oath of Aegis. From 1,501 to 6,000, you get the Sentinel's Will. And then in Event Bazaar, you'll be able to exchange for the Lux Wing, which is one of our older Vortex Arena spheres. So that's always very exciting. And just, remember to make sure that you are upgrading your light squad if you haven't already. I always acquire new units and then I forget about it, and I still try to go in with my older units and it doesn't work as much. So if you got a recently, very good light unit, make sure that you have them ready to go by the time that this is out, so you can claim all those juicy rewards. And speaking of light and arenas, it has been the trend that we get a new battle maiden for every single one of the elemental Vortex arenas. So this being light, this time around we have the beautiful Vanila. Arguably, I would like to say that she's probably the favorite of the battle maidens. Not my personal favorite, but I feel like she gets a lot of love. I would say it's between her and Kayena. Or Saren? Really? See, Saren too, though. They're all pretty cool. They're all pretty good. But I feel like Vanilla is one of its top 3 for sure.
Yeah, I think it's her design that like give us, looks like she's like the leader of the pack or something.
Yeah, I mean she has a very commanding presence. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, and her sprite from infancy was quite. The volume was pretty big.
Yes, much bigger than the rest of it.
Yeah, so she was trying to make a statement. She was like, I'm the one that calls the shots around here. But her sprite is probably going to get even bigger, because if you look at the design that we have for her 7-star and her Omni here, I mean, she's only... Her jetpack just keeps getting like upgrades or something, and she keeps growing like 3 times the size. But I really love, the angelic touch. She's always had that about her. I love the design of, the wings in her hair, the way that her hair is flowing in the wind, and the little hearts made out of light and everything around her. She's always been this kind of like symbol of purity and like...
And of battle as well.
She's very heartwarming, yeah. She's a very heartwarming, charming lady who will absolutely destroy you. We all need somebody like that in our lives.
In one sentence.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see what she can do in the Vortex Arena. Her lore, I'm going to leave a little bit of a mystery, because I feel like if I say too much, it's going to take the fun out of it. But basically, Vanilla sees things when she's fighting sometimes, and that particular thing that she sees is a shadow, and she's not sure of what the shadow is. So to find out what is the shadow following her, then you'll have to get her and evolve her to Omni level so that you can get the full story. Should be very fun.
That's gonna be interesting.
Yes, interesting indeed. I mean, the battle maidens are always interesting. So. All right, well, that's all we have for this time around. Please stick around for the Summoner's Corner coming up. All right, welcome to the Summoner's Corner, where you guys give us shout outs or you send questions, and then we either say hello or we answer your question. It really depends on what we have in store. And today we have a comment here from Juan Santos. He says, "Hi guys, really love this game and I'm a veteran player. Wondering when we will be updating the game to get more imp keys, like twice a week, you know, because we get jewel and metal keys from the admin's office in Randall, but we don't really get any imp keys unless we like play an event or sometimes like during login bonuses. Any plans to implement like a constant imp key?
Yeah, I mean, this is a very good suggestion. So maybe one of the ways to actually put imp key as in the event itself, like as an event rewards. I guess this is something that we rarely do because usually we just give the imp directly. Like, you know, maybe I can bring the idea to the team itself, like to set it up. So yeah, definitely a good idea.
All right, I think that would be a great idea if we could add that in. And of course, you know, raise the limit of the keys that we can have on hand, which is a subject that has come up many times on this show.
It should be coming soon though. I mean, like 99. I think someone was mentioning about requesting on updating to 99 for the keys.
At least
I know it's 50. Yeah.
That would be great. Yay. All right, cool. So the next question here, thank you Juan for that one. The next question here is by WolfZen007. Wolf says, first of all, congratulations to the Brave Frontier team for 5 years of success. You know, many titles have been released since then, but Brave Frontier is still going strong on its 5th year, which is amazing. Wolves is actually a returning player who started playing again like 4 months ago or so. And Wolves really enjoys playing the older dungeons. However, he or she sometimes gets stuck with lower tier units because the evolution material that you could get through the event is not available anywhere. And being a returning player, you don't really have access unless the event is rerun again. So Wolves is wondering if we are going to implement a way to purchase those type of Evo mats or items in the bazaar shop or in the marriage shop, anywhere else. Yeah, because Wolves understands that the team's focus right now is to create new content, but as a person who enjoys the older content and the reruns of older dungeons, Wolves is wondering if this is a possibility.
I think this might only happen on some of the a very specific collaboration because normally we don't put a unique item as evolution materials. I think in this case, Logi was from the Alchemist Code collaboration, which is our own internal Gumi collaboration. So definitely it is something that we can consider when we are rerunning it again. Definitely the internal collaboration might still be like much easier to negotiate compared to like external one. But yeah, normally we do make sure that every time we do a limited unit, the evolution material itself is not limited unless maybe it's like our own like Frontier Rift or like kind of like a event. But collaboration, I think only some of the collaboration, like especially for the older one, use this kind of mechanic that makes players makes it hard for players to like evolve once the collaboration period ends. Yeah, so for now we can't promise anything, but if we are going to do a Alchemist Code collab again, definitely we will be able to release it.
Okay, all right. Well, hopefully for this particular example that Wolves gives about Logi, then maybe the wish will be granted. But the other ones, we have to review them a little bit first to see if we actually have permission to rerun the events, etc.
That's right.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, WolfZen, for that one. And then the last here is by MW147. All right, MW says, hey guys, really enjoyed playing BF since I first downloaded it 3 years ago. So MW is quite the veteran here. And would like to ask a couple of things. So number one, back in April, we mentioned that we would be looking into or implementing a 3x speed feature for auto questing. Has there been any progress with that? Is the first question.
Yes.
And then the other one was, let's see here. Oh, Yeah, Super Lab, exactly. So is there any word on another Super Lab event, where we can get 2 times the summoner experience and stuff? Because it's been over a year since the last one, according to MW here. So what are your answers for these 2 questions, Risky?
Actually, this MW147, he or she actually have a lot more questions, but I just took the first paragraph.
Oh, okay.
Yep. So sorry for that, but because we don't have much time. But the first thing is that the permanent 3 times speed is in the queue. I think we were a bit caught up with a little bit of development here and there, preparing, especially for when we prepare for the RC7 and the future, like new features. So it was a little bit like put on the backlog, but it is going to come soon.
Okay, cool.
Soon. But team is aware of it, but it will come soon. Second is on the Super Lab. We understand that this is actually a campaign that we can easily set up, and the team has discussed on it to make it permanent. So hopefully by the end of this month or early of next month, January or February, you'll get a Super Lab event, and then it will be made permanent once every month.
Okay, that's awesome, because I'm still like, my summoner level is laughable. I have never made any progress. It's so hard to level up your summoner. I don't know why. Why is that the case? You'd think that after all the summoner has been through for 5 years, that the summoner would be the highest level unit that you'd ever have, but no. That's not how it works in Grand Gaia.
No, because he never really fight, He never really fight. He always used his summons and like all those heroes to fight for him. So that's why
okay.
Fight.
Because that doesn't qualify as hard work. I see. I got it.
He didn't do the hard work.
All right. Well, I'll be looking forward to that as well myself, because I do want to work on my summoner's level. But I think that does it for our February highlights for, the upcoming month. So I hope you guys are looking forward to them. I know that I am, and happy Valentine's Day to you all. If you don't celebrate, that's totally fine. You don't necessarily need to celebrate the fact that you are dating someone or that you have a boyfriend or girlfriend. Just celebrate the fact that there's love in the world. And if you don't necessarily have romantic love, at least love yourself, because you are amazing and you are beautiful, and we love you guys. So keep watching. We love hearing from you. Leave some comments down below for our next episode, and we'll see you next time.
See you again. Bye-bye.